Hands up if you want to prospect forever, right? Everybody's hands are like down, because as much as you may say, I enjoy connecting with new people, I love chatting with people, there are other things that we would like to do more than that. So if you're getting bored of prospecting, if you're like, if I have to ask how somebody's budgie is one more time, or their favorite color, or I like their shoes one more time via messenger, I'm going to go, I say pull my hair out, but that wouldn't work for me. I'm going to go crazy. Then this training will definitely be useful for you. So what helps us to solve boredom? What helps to keep us in the game when we're doing something that's difficult or uncomfortable or annoying or whatever you want to describe prospecting as? Well, to know that the end is in sight would be a big step in the right direction. Because if right now you're prospecting, say 20, 30 people a day, even 10 people a day, you're not really getting many leads from that. You're not getting many sales, or even if you are, you can't possibly see. I have a lot of leaders that come to me and say, well, Richard, I can do the numbers, but when does it end? I don't see a way out of this situation. I'm just a sales rep now. What we need to know is, well, if we can say 60 days, 90 days, even 6 months, well, I know that I won't have to do this anymore. It will just be by choice. We can feel more enthusiasm because we know we're on a time scale. Okay, we can suffer a lot more if we know when it's going to end. It's the same with prospecting. Now, the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you do a couple of different things. You either have to, number one, outsource your prospecting. So you would have to give access to your social media account to someone who can prospect on your behalf. There is some risk involved with that. It would typically be someone who you know well enough. You already have to do safety checks with that. There are people that offer that service. There are fors and against for that. The against is that people can often tell that it's not you. The for is obviously it doesn't cost any of your time. That's one method. My favorite method is using content. So just like now, I'm creating content, right? If you're watching my YouTube video or you're listening to my podcast, I'm not there right now doing that, right? I'm not sat in front of the camera right now, whatever date it is today. What's the date today? 25th of January, I think I'm recording this content. So it isn't the 25th of January right now. I'm doing something else. So I'm able to generate leads, I'm able to generate interest, I'm able to put my face and my voice in front of new people or build rapport with my existing audience without physically having to be there. So because I've done that consistently for such a while, and I understand, how to get my content to rank, how to pop up in searches, I now no longer have the pressure of having to prospect at all if I don't want to. I still do sometimes because I enjoy doing a little bit of it, but I don't have to. Because I've got so much content out there that is being found by new people on a daily basis. I'm getting leads and making sales from videos and podcasts that I did years ago. I have people saying, I just listened to your podcast. Yeah, I know what you mean. And I'm like, oh, which one were you listening to? I was listening to this one. I'm like, oh, I did that 3 years ago. Oh, really? But it starts a conversation. That's a strong lead. Or they're going straight from my videos or my podcast. They're clicking links and going into my funnels, buying products right there and then off of presentation. So you can do the same thing. If you start putting out regular, consistent content on places where it ranks and it stays there, so Facebook wouldn't work because once after the first 24 hours, that content is kind of dead. But if you're looking at, say, a podcast, if you're looking at, say, a YouTube video, if you're looking at stuff like that, that is searchable for the foreseeable future. New people are going to jump on to YouTube and type in, sales funnels for MLM and find my video a year from now, 2 years, 3 years from now. It's searchable long term. So if you start to do that now, the pressure for you to prospect will decline. It kind of like crisscrosses. At first the pressure to prospect is high and the content doesn't really yield any kind of results because you're new and you haven't done much of it. But as you start prospecting more and more, and as you start doing more and more content, you probably prospect less because you get bored, but the content's generating more leads, and at some point they cross over. And you go, wow, if I can just stay more consistent with my content and know what I'm doing and get these things ranked, then I don't have to prospect anymore if I don't want to. So that's my advice to you. If you're bored of prospecting, it's probably because you don't really know how much longer you're going to have to keep it up. You're not happy with the results, be it the time it's taking from you, the energy, or the lack of results. So if you can start to replace that activity with something that you see is getting results and you can do on your own time scale and you don't have to do it every day and you can take days off and the leads and the sales will still come in, then I think that's a great move in the right direction. This is why so many people are buying my program and are getting coaching from me, because this really is the way forward if you want leveraged income. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope it was useful for you as a network marketer to know there can be an end to that boring task of doing it all day, every day, and having to check the phone every time it bing, bing, bings. We don't want to do that dance, right? There is a way that we can free ourselves from that. It just takes some work, takes some knowledge, and takes some practical application. If you want to kind of dive more into how you can do that type of thing and a lot more, you can obviously reach out to me, but you can go to www.authoritynetworker.com/webinar. I'll go into a lot of tactics, how I sponsor nearly 800 people in a predictable way on that web class. And like I said, if you have some kind of question, you want to reach me direct, best place is LinkedIn or Facebook. You can find me easily and message me on there. As I always like to say, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. If you're a subscriber, I'll catch you on the next one. And bye for now.